We're live because I decided to go live completely right on the dot 8 o'clock.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't all the way set up, but okay, cool. Um, I mean, I guess that's a thing, but okay. Um,
This is for the
yeah, again.
patron. This is for the patrons that get their free thing that everybody else gets. But if they knew, maybe we tell the patrons that we're live on Twitch, but don't tell anybody else, even though they could do it anyway.
Um, I don't think we should tell anyone anything. How about that?
I,
We should
I
just we should show up. Just show up, bam, like a thief in the night, like the
it,
Lord. No,
it's
no, I'm
how we're
just
going.
kidding.
It's how we're going. The Lord is the thief in the night now.
No, no, no. That's what he said. That's what they say. That when when Jesus comes back, he's coming back like a thief in the night. That's a quote. That's not a that's not nothing I made up. Like that's a quote.
I'm a
You never heard that before?
Yeah, I've heard it, but it's always been a thing, to compare Jesus to a thief.
I mean, it's like it's just it's I don't know.
He's just
I
gonna
don't know
break.
exactly why.
He's just
I don't know
gonna
why
break
I don't
in
know
your
why it's
house.
called that. Yeah, he's just gonna show up. He's just gonna show up and be like, all right, let's roll. Let's roll. We out. We out.
Well, how we're gonna start doing the podcast now is we're gonna delete all our social media. We're gonna record the podcast and just put it on a floppy disk and bury it in the desert. And that's how people have to go find it, listen to it.
I'm not sure that one's gonna work.
That's how Halo did its stuff, right?
Not sure that's a I don't really know
Remember,
about all that.
remember those days of Halo to where they had like codes and shit like on the website, and you looked at a thing and
Yeah, I do not miss ARGs. I don't miss them at all. All that I love these things and all that kind of weird shit. I don't miss none of that shit. Like none of it. All of that shit seemed like a too much of nothing to me. I don't know. I like I said, don't miss it,
I
not one bit.
I need a bird in that Red Oak, North Carolina.
Yo, you shared the thing about Philip, man. I saw the headline.
His
I
name
didn't
is
realize.
his name is also Philip White. we
Right.
we know Philip's last name now.
Right. I didn't even realize. I mean, I saw the headline. I didn't read it. I was just kind of like, that's stupid. But I mean, it's this country. You can sue over anything. It doesn't mean you're going to win. I was talking to my daughter today about copyright infringement. She said some YouTube that she was watching was talking about copyright infringement. Apparently, some famous people were talking about that. And then I was like, well, or no, trademark infringement. I'm sorry, trademark infringement. And she was talking about like how she thinks it's weird that you can trademark some things, like you can trademark a color or you can trademark, like some shit like that. And I was like, yeah, you can trademark something if it's not used very often, except for directly associated with whatever it is that you
And
sell.
also you can only copyright something if there's something that's common. You can copyright it for a certain
You can sell for a
area,
certain thing.
like Chipotle, right? Chipotle,
Hmm.
no other restaurant can call themselves Chipotle, but you can have a sauce that is the Chipotle sauce because
Right.
you can't call a restaurant that, but it's still a type of pepper.
Yeah, there's this restaurant in I don't know if it was Australia or New Zealand. I get those confused a lot. But there's a restaurant that had a Kanye West themed restaurant.
You went muted all of a sudden.
I went muted. What do you mean I muted?
Oh, maybe it was internet, but I didn't hear
Oh,
after the
oh.
Kanye West themed restaurant. I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, there was a Kanye West themed restaurant, and I can't remember what it's called. But and then a lot of the menu items are named after his songs.
Hmm.
Um, and they thought it was really, really cool when the Kanye West Instagram account was on their Instagram, and it was like, "Oh wow, Kanye West followed us on Instagram. That's awesome!" And then
It's
that
the other
season,
nemesis, the one that doesn't play Division with us ever.
yeah, there's the and then it was like, yeah, then it was like a cease and desist. Like, I'm gonna need you not to do this. I'm gonna need you not to do this expeditiously. Like, I need you to get rid of all of your Kanye West affiliation because you're not affiliated with Kanye West. And now I'm happy for those people because I'm not sure there's many people that want to be associated with Kanye West right now.
Right.
So maybe they dodged the bullet
Now,
there.
now they're going to have a Taylor Swift themed restaurant.
Nah, I would. Well, I definitely. That's not something I would definitely want. Um, I mean, who wants a Taylor Swift themed restaurant? Like even if she did the restaurant herself, I'm like, nah, I'm good. They put right before I left, right not too long before I left, um, Newport News, they had a Toby Keith's restaurant. It's called I Love This Bar or some shit like that.
Oh, oh,
Um,
oh! Before you go completely on that, there was a bar around here called I Heart This Bar, but it was called I Love This Bar, and Toby Keith sued them. They had to change their name to I Like This Bar.
yeah, yeah, but because he had his own bar called that. Um, so when that thing opened, I was like, "Yo, dog, you couldn't pay me to actually go there." Like, I was like, "Nah." And then the company or something like that went out of business or something like that, and all of those motherfuckers closed. And it wasn't even really the one in Newport News wasn't even up that long, and they ended up closing. And it was a whole bunch of thing about people not getting paid, like the workers and stuff not getting paid. It was a big clusterfuck. Um, and it was like, Toby Keith himself was just like, yo, it was about licensing to me. Like, I wasn't necessarily going to be running this
But
shit.
but don't you think that it's kind of like ironic or not ironic, or like, yeah, that seems right, or that tracks, any of those sayings to a Toby Keith restaurant the where they don't care about the workers.
Yeah, basically. And then I was telling my daughter, like, you can you can trademark something, but but if you trademark some words, it has to be something that you don't use very often. Because remember when Paris Hilton tried to trademark "That's hot," because I guess that was her like catchphrase. That's hot.
Mm.
She tried to trademark "That's hot" and it was just like, no, you can't trademark "That's hot" because people say "That's hot." And she was like, "You do?" And I was like, and my daughter was like, "You do?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like, if I give you some tea and I tell you that you might want to blow on that for a little bit because that's hot, like, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm telling you not to, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm warning you, like, that's a warning. That's hot. That is a warning for most people except for Paris Hilton. That's a warning. It's just
Well,
all
it could be a warning if Paris Hilton thinks that something's hot. Maybe you should be like, I don't know if I should be partaking into this.
Yeah, but I mean, Paris Hilton is also the one that was getting backdoored in a fucking sex tape and act like it was
Hey,
absolutely nothing. She looked bored as hell.
I'm not sure if this was talking about something we were talking about. He said no seasoning. I'm good.
I'm pretty sure that was for the Taylor Swift restaurant.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, you don't put seasoning? Come on, we got it.
Yeah, see, he said what wasn't hot was her sex tape. Like I said, yo, my man. Apparently, it was like Shannon Doherty's the chick from 90210 and Charmed.
Mm-hmm.
It was like her ex husband or something like that. I don't know if they were still married at the time, but that was
Also,
the
mole
dude
rats.
in her that was the dude in her sex tape, the her husband or whatever. And like they said at one point he was in the back door and she looked bored, like she wanted to just kind of like pick up her phone and just kind of start texting people. And she's getting rammed back door by this dude. So like obviously he wasn't it. But
Right.
I mean obviously he wasn't it. But or you know she may just got a real loose back door.
I don't know the back. I mean, normally the back door is the easiest way to hit the lady's spot. So
The back
it's.
door. You know I mean her asshole, right?
Oh, I thought you just meant doggy style.
No, 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 no. He was in the back door. Like, I mean,
Oh,
he was. Yeah,
yeah. I don't fuck around no butt
yeah.
stuff.
He was. Apparently, he was in the back door, and she seemed like it was just another day. Like there was nothing. It was like it was nothing special about that at all to her.
When she goes poop at my, she just like, oh, I'm done. Everything just goes right on out.
Yeah. When she farts, it goes, "Who?" She farts, and this shit sound like a flute.
she, she,
Um.
she could be singing that Who song. She'd be like, "Who are you? Who, who?"
I hate everything right now. What's that? That was the CSI theme song, right?
Um, it was one
Original
of them.
CSI.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the original CSI theme song. I used to watch. I never really watched it on TV until it was like a TNT. I think it was TNT marathon. They used to have marathons of this shit all the time. That's when I watched. That's the only time when I watched CSI. If it was a fucking marathon on, and I ain't had shit to do that day. I mean, it seemed like a cool little show, but I'm really not gonna watch this shit unless there's a marathon on. That
Right.
man, let me tell you, I have not done very much this last 2 weeks. I have not done a whole lot. So like the talking on my end now, you know, I can like create something from what I actually did, but I haven't done a whole lot. Because like my life is just kind of crazy right now. And it's like it's always something to do. Um, and you know I have you know there's I have a lady friend in my life right now, and like every time she's around I don't get nothing done, and she's usually around on the weekends where I typically was actually getting stuff done, and I don't get none of that shit done these days. Nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing. Nothing gets done. I'm having a good time though. I'm having a good time though. It was a good it's good just getting out the house. Last Saturday I went to a band competition. It was a bunch of high schools from different areas of Virginia and one band from DC.
Mhm.
And then there was a couple of colleges that came through. It was supposed to be three colleges, including my favorite school, Norfolk State University. But Norfolk State had some sort of bus issues, so they only sent the drumline, which is fine. I really wanted to see Norfolk State. You know what I mean? Like I really wanted to see Norfolk State because I'm not at home, so it's not as easy for me to get there.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? If I try to drive to a Norfolk State game, that's about a 2.5 hour drive.
Mhm.
So, well, maybe 2 hours, somewhere around there. But I think it takes 2.5 hours to get to like Virginia Beach or something like that, and that depends on if there's no traffic, which 64, it's traffic. Um, but so yeah, I was a little bit disappointed by that, but I had a really good time. Except we were at Highland Springs High School, and when I went to Highland Springs High School, what first of all, they have a really nice school. Like it's a very modern designed school, and then their field they got like some turf. It's like a little stadium. It's not like super big, but it's decent for a high school
Is
stadium.
that like when you go into the nice McDonald's, you're like, well, damn.
Yeah, that's basically what it was because it's a high school, and you're like, wow, this seems really nice. Like, holy fuck, this is really nice. So and then the field was turf. That like it wasn't grass. It was actually turf. Like, but like okay. So I haven't been to one of these things in a couple years. So we had to sit on the bleachers, and I didn't bring my little a little seat cushion thing, and my butt hurt. Like we was out there from like it was like two something, and I think when we left there it was like eight something. Because it was a lot of schools performing. There was some breaks in between sometimes. Um, it was a few high school performances and then the colleges and whatever. But I felt like we was out there all day long, and we absolutely was. Like we were there from when it was bright and sunny to when the sun was gone, like all the way gone. But it was a really good time. I had no, it was just one of those things to where it's like, you know me, I really dig the marching band thing, and to see what some of these high schools was coming up with, because generally high school marching bands in Virginia are generally pretty small. I think a lot of the kids they don't they don't they don't come up with a lot of marching band in their lives like we did, and then like what happened after the movie Drumline came out. So like it's so a lot of these bands are pretty tiny. Like you can count all of the people on the field, and it ain't gonna take you that long. Like you know what I mean? Like you can like some of these schools like had like 20 something people total. But I mean, everyone did a really good job, especially some of the smaller schools. Like what they were able to do sound wise was like, oh, that's really interesting. Um, yeah, so that was a good time, and I had a really good time. If they do something else, like if someone wants to do like a gym battle or something like that, even if they want to do something like that in Newport News, I think I might go.
Cool. I actually did something out of my normal too.
Sure. We do.
Well, we went to the fair.
Fair. Okay, yeah, I saw the video. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet, but I saw the video that you posted.
Yeah, me and because I took Aiden over to my mom's, and she was like, "You want to go to the fair?" And I'm like, I think I'm good. I just want to like hang out at the house." And then, Aiden, uh, I was like, "Aiden, you go in that haunted ride," and he was like, "Only go if you go." And I was like, and I called Amber, and I was like, "Well, I think I'm going to the fair." So, so I went to the fair, and my mom paid for everything. So, because you don't go to the fair to save money, because everything's freaking high as shit. But
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Yeah, right.
cool. I mean, there was a lot of
Everything.
people. It was the last day of the fair, so maybe that was why there was so many people. But they I've always kind of liked the atmosphere of the fair, especially at night with the lights and like how they turn a parking lot into a city. You know what I mean? It's kind of cool. And then so we went on the haunted rides. I remember being scared as shit when I was a kid. Want nothing but my son. He loved it because it was like just jump scares, and all that stuff. And we had some rattlesnake corn dogs.
Okay.
That was the new thing that they had at the fair. There was a vendor from I guess the vendor was from Texas. Because we talked to him and we were like, man, is this like real rattlesnake? He was like, yes. Well, my mom asked him. He was like, yes, ma'am. They're 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 wild call rattlesnakes in West Texas and diamondbacks, and they mix the snake meat with rabbit meat and make a sausage. So it tasted kind
Oh,
of
wait, hold on, wait, wait, wait. They mix the snake meat with what kind of meat?
rabbit meat that they also
Rabbit
kill.
meat.
Wild rabbit and snake. Because I guess the snake on its own is kind of hard to make it into a like a sausage. So they how a sausage they would be like chicken and beef and stuff. So they kind of mix the meat and the Yeah,
I mean, I know what you're saying, but that does not sound good at all.
it actually was. It was like kind of a spicy brat. It and they had like sort of an avocado sauce on it. So then that they called that the venom sauce because it was green, I guess. But that was good too, because I mean, but you can get it without the avocado sauce. But
Don't no part of that sounds actually good. And I'm a very picky eater, as you know. Yeah, that
if
doesn't
you were
sound.
there, would you have tried it? Just be like, I tried some rattlesnake.
Fuck no.
You
You can have that rattlesnake, dog. Like we good. Last time I went to something like a fair, I went to a seafood festival a few years ago with my ex, and they had gator bites, fried gator bites, and I'm like, huh, seems.
well,
I don't
gator.
know.
Well, gator is, for foods that's not beef and chicken is fairly common. I mean, you can get gator,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, but it was like gator bites. But fuck this, I'm going to go get me some fried Oreos. Like I'm not fucking doing this shit. Like I'm not fucking doing this shit. I'm sorry. Does not sound good. Let me go get these fried Oreos. I
Well,
know people who don't like fried Oreos.
they definitely had all that stuff, I
Yeah,
I, I,
yeah.
I
Let me
would
go
have
get
got
some
the
fried.
fried Oreos, but I just ate that, so I didn't want the fried Oreos are actually kind of filling because when they're fried they're fucking huge, but
Yes.
so we got a funnel cake which actually was still too big. I didn't finish that shit, but
The problem with fried Oreos is not the fried Oreos themselves. It's the fucking powdered sugar that they put on top of them shits. It's like, come on, dog. Like, I need you to cut back on the powdered sugar, bro. Like, I don't need
dude,
all of
my
this.
my funnel cake was absolutely encased in cap powdered sugar.
Yeah, exactly. Like they just do a little bit too much, and it's just like, come on, man. I didn't need all this powdered sugar.
And if it
Like
gets
if
on
you
your pants or anything, I mean it's on there until you wash them. I mean it's if you try to
right,
wipe it off, it's just gonna spread it.
yeah, just gonna make it worse.
But yeah, it
Oh,
was cool. The they have all the crazy rides, but I don't do any of that kind of shit where I'm gonna make myself sick. But
I don't do heights. So
yeah.
like a lot of the rides, I'm not really about that life. Like if it's one of those things that kind of spins around and it's kind of on the ground, I might do that. I don't do a whole bunch of roller coasters. I leave that shit for Rob. Shout out to Rob. Um, um, yeah, I leave that shit to Rob. Rob loves roller coasters and shit like that, and I'm just kind of like, more power to you, dog.
And the best thing about the North Carolina Fair is that it's in October. So you go out there and you're not heating to fucking death. Like who wants to go to a carnival in July or some shit? Yeah, I know that's a summer
Yeah,
thing, but like, fuck that shit.
yeah. What you call it? The Virginia Fair is in September. It's at the end of September. I think it's already came and gone.
I wonder if this is the same fair and they travel. I'm not sure.
Might be. Because I mean, I've never been to the Virginia Fair. Mostly because I ain't really about to spend all this money for this shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, to
not
me,
really.
if you're going with somebody, be like, I know exactly the things I want out of a fair experience. I'm going to get my hot dog, my $8 hot dog and my Oreo, and that's what I'm getting. And then
Yeah.
you just walk around, and it's best to go at dusk because you want the lights and stuff. I mean, I don't understand people just going in the middle of the day, man, because then it's not
Yeah.
the experience. You want the experience.
And Scott said that's how it is here in Indiana. Fairs in July, heat and animal shit don't mix. LOL. You right.
Yeah.
You right, dog. Did Scott ever get back to you
Oh,
about the thing?
he said one, but then I think when we do it on a Thursday or something, we'll just have him and we'll go down the list and be like, which one, which one, which one. You know what I mean? Actually, it might be a good idea to put the Nightwish stuff into a list and just like me and Scott go through them, and it's
I mean,
just do all that shit. But it'd be a me and
okay.
Scott thing.
I think we should do an all night wish recording day. All night wish. All the time.
We're gonna get all them views.
You you night wish this shit would stop. You night wish or you might wish this shit would stop. You never know. But yeah, I just thought about that because Scott's here. Um yeah, man, I don't know where we should start. Oh, my daughter decided she wanted to cut her hair. My daughter has bangs now.
Okay.
She got a for the ladies out there. She has a bob and she has bangs, and something that I learned today. I know exactly what I would look like if I had bangs. Because the pictures of my daughter look just like a light skinned me. She looked just like me in those pictures. Now, I typically don't see me except for in the eyes. We definitely have the same eyes. But I typically don't see me. I typically see my ex wife.
Mhm.
Um, when I look at her, I typically see my ex wife. But today, the pictures that I got from her getting her hair done and her haircut and everything, that looked like all me. Look like look like I did most of that by myself. But yeah, so I know what I look like if I had it. Um, he said he has tons of ideas for us to react to. If he would have thought of it earlier this month, he would have said, "Here comes the number of mummies for Halloween." I mean, we could still do something. Well, actually, hold on. When is Halloween?
Like
Oh, yeah,
Monday.
Halloween is Monday, so we're not gonna be able to get back around to that
Uh,
before Halloween.
I mean, we could still do a. If Blue can't make it, we could just do me, you, and Scott, and just do one.
I think we could. I mean, it depends because I got something that may be Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know which day I'm available to actually do it.
Cause I did the math. Um, from where we are now is 14 reaction videos would get us to the end of the year, and then that would be so we don't have to like be fucking with this shit during the holidays and stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Cause yeah. Okay. No problem. I think we can get it. And I think everyone listening should watch the reactions. It's on the Geeks Gone Raw Universe YouTube channel. The
Because
link should
it's funny.
be
There's
in.
not a lot of we get views there, but there's not a lot of cross. It's like we have two different
Like
things going on.
like people watch the stuff that they like. They don't watch everything.
Yeah, and then people that listen to the podcast don't even know we do reactions half the time. They're like, "I think I remember you saying something about that." I'm like, "It's like this a thing that's been going on for a while."
And And every time we post a show, you get two versions on that YouTube page. You get the version that's edited that you get onto the feed, but you also get the live version. Like what we when we are looking at each other and talking to each other, you do get the live version. So like if you're watching the live version, you also get my faces when he was talking about the rattlesnake corn dogs. You can actually see my faces.
Yeah, and also sometimes there's stuff in the beginning and the end that gets cut out for the podcast episode.
Yes. And I think we might start doing a little bit more of that. More geared towards like the patrons and stuff like that. But it'll probably be on the live show. I think we should do. I think we should do one day. We should do reactions live. I think that would be fun. I think we should do reactions live.
Yeah, maybe I should get it to where it can be live on YouTube.
Yes, it doesn't matter where, or we can do the original thing where we just put the whole recording of us onto somewhere like Patreon, and if you're even in the low level of the Patreon, you can actually see and like be able to witness the conversations that we have in between,
Well, what?
because like if we would have had some of that stuff, like they would have been able to watch the shittens conversation,
Yeah.
which is like something that we never really talked very much of on the show, because it was more funny when there was more people involved.
Yeah. And also I think it'd be cool to do like our Friday night game night or whatever, which has mostly just been us hanging out. Like stuff like that to where that's live and it's just us just hanging out, and that could be, or it could be recorded and that be
Those
for the piece patrons.
those those may stop soon, well, on my end, because I may be getting a job. I may be getting a second job, and it's a night job. So that's gonna change a little bit for me. Um, so that's the only thing I would say. I'm looking into, like, one of my coworkers. He works nights at UPS. He only works like a couple hours a night. He works like 11 to 3. Um, and UPS, you make pretty decent amount of money. And right now I kind of need the dough.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just one of those things to where I might have to end up doing that. I don't want to, but I may have to. So so the game night thing might be a little bit harder to do.
Well,
Um,
even if it's not like to where we're talking and it's not really a podcast, but we're just like hanging out, like that kind of stuff can be Patreon stuff because it's something that not everybody's gonna like to listen to, but someone like Scott, people on the inside might get a kick out of just listening to us hanging out or hanging out with us.
Absolutely, and we have a whole lot of fun. We do when we're out talking, even if we're not playing the same thing. We do have a whole lot of fun, just kind of talking stuff, and it just could be anything, just random.
And that should get recorded and posted somewhere and be like, oh, you guys remember on the game night feed, because sometimes we'll talk about something on Friday nights and I forget that we haven't talked about it on the podcast, and we'll like reference it or something and nobody knows what we're fucking talking about.
Right, because a lot of times that shit bleeds into each other. I get that. I mean, we're kind of doing like a show meeting on the podcast. That's kind of weird.
Hey, we're bring
Is it,
we're
is
bringing
it
we're
weird?
bringing people in. This is what you call transparency in the industry, right?
That's right. That's what you call transparency in this industry.
Well, he said something about sexual innuendo.
No, he said, "Here Comes the Mummies" is a group of session musicians that dress up as mummies but do funk with a lot of sexual innuendos. That seems like something that would be worth doing sometime this week. Even if we have to do it on like any other day, as long as we can get it done before the end of the weekend and put it up maybe right before or on Halloween, that would be fun. Halloween is not a good day for me.
It's Monday. It's not a good day for most people.
No, like Halloween means something different to me than it does for most people.
Satan's Day.
No, Halloween night is the night my mom passed.
Oh, that's
Yeah, so it's a completely different situation. He said, "Do it now." No, we're not doing it now. This is podcast time. This is not reaction time.
do it now. Isn't that something? A reference from somewhere. Do it now. Well, that's like
No,
do
it's
it. Do it
do
live.
it live. Do
Yeah.
it live. What's that? Was that Bill O'Reilly?
Maybe I don't know.
I think so. Um, wow, someone actually has an there's a someone called Wednesday 13. They have an album called "Fuck It, We'll Do It Live"
Oh,
as Bill O'Reilly.
okay.
But there is a is the first live is "Fuck It, We'll Do It Live" is the first live album by American horror punk musician Wednesday 13.
Horror punk. Is that like the
American
Misfits?
horror punk. I have no idea.
Old AFI.
I have no idea.
Old AFI
I
is
only,
fantastic.
I only know one. I only know one song by AFI. Miss Murder, right?
That's well, I mean that's not new now, but to me that's newer AFI. He's like,
That's
oh
that's the only AFI song I know is what I'm saying.
yeah. I might bring some old AFI to the table sometime. It's some good shit.
Okay. Yeah, that is the only, and I only know that song because of like Guitar Hero and shit.
Yeah. Guitar Hero was like a lot of people's gateway into a lot of things, right?
Yeah, it definitely was for me
I
because
think that's for a lot of people. Like that's what we're missing. Like I wasn't that into Guitar Hero and stuff, but we why haven't we had like a rhythm based game like that in so long?
because the peripherals became too expensive. Like my ex bought me a few years ago. She bought me a Rock Band 4 kit for Christmas. That shit was like $250. Like the whole kit, including the game, drums, microphone, and guitar. And then at the time, it came with an extra guitar. Um, and like that shit costs like 200 something dollars for that kit. And like now, I have issues because one of my guitars never quite worked. He said he thinks Joey, the old Slipknot drummer, was in Wednesday 13, and he said, "Oh, they stopped making the instruments." Yeah, they stopped making the instruments because the shit was too expensive.
Well,
Um, they
why couldn't
they still
like
they still do come out with songs because I played a little bit of Rock Band. I sang a couple of songs in Rock Band a couple weeks ago, and then I went looking in the store for songs and stuff like that. But I still my wish list on Rock Band is immense. So I
well
don't think I
why
need any
isn't
new
there any
ones.
third party peripherals for that?
Because it all became too expensive, and then people were trading that shit back in, and like GameStops and stuff like that had just had like a million fucking pieces of fucking guitars like just kind of laying around and no one was fucking buying and shit. Like it was
Well, I
just
mean,
it.
could they bring it down to make it more affordable?
Ow! If no one is buying what's out there, you can't bring it down. You know what I mean? The I know who that is. Um, if you can't get people to buy the shit new, you definitely can't get them to buy it when it's cheap.
Well, how many people have you talked about? Man, I miss Rock Band. Why haven't there been a new Rock Band? So this whole thing to where like everybody hates microtransactions, but everyone's buying them. But everybody wants a Rock Band, but nobody's buying it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like I only know like a couple of people in my friends list on Xbox is I got a lot of people on my friends list on Xbox. When I was on a 360, I kept hitting that 100% limit. Um, once I became a podcaster, I kept hitting that 100% limit on Xbox, and then when on the Xbox One, when they could just follow you and don't necessarily have to follow them back. I had a lot of people on my friends list, and when I when I play Rock Band and I look at some of the songs, it um, tells you what your friends got in certain things. Like
Mm-hmm.
it has like a leaderboard. I generally only see one person. I generally only see one person in Rock Band 4. But here's the worst part about playing Rock Band on the Xbox. I can't play it on my S because it's a disc. So I had to go get my.
Can you use
I mean,
external disk drive with S?
I am not aware.
That should be something that they should be able to do. If you can use an external hard drive, you should be able to use the external disk drive. That just keep the S cheaper, but then give someone the opportunity to use this if they want to.
Yeah. I Scott, I don't see you very often because I don't think you sing a lot. I don't know what you actually use. I don't see you very often because I either sing or I'm playing drums. So I don't see you, I see someone else. Like I said, like Scott is one of the few people that and oh yeah. Okay, so let's talk about this. So we were playing Rock Band 3 and this is when I know that Scott was going to go back to being a white person cuz we were playing Rock Band online and I am playing but I have on headphones and we're playing with Scott over the internet on over Xbox Live and Scott being a white person could not like Scott was one of the coolest white dudes I knew. Is R&B Scarface and all that kind of stuff. Loved R&B music. He was about that life. Could not resist singing "Living on a Prayer" as loud as he possibly could.
I'm a bad white person. I don't know any of the lyrics to Living on a Prayer.
Oh my god, are you serious?
I'm serious.
What are you? Like seriously, like you there's like okay, there's like three songs as a white person you should know. And especially in a group setting. You probably don't really do group settings except for as if it's a fucking metal concert or some shit. But there's three songs that you should know. It's Living on a Prayer, Don't Stop Believing. I got friends in low places. Like you should know those three songs. Those are three songs that you have to know because you're a white person. You need to know these songs.
The closest knowing is Friends in Low Places. But I have to have a lot of alcohol.
You don't know Don't Stop Believing either?
Well, I mean the.
Sweet oh yep, you know what? Sweet Caroline is one of those.
Well, I mean I know the chorus
But like
of
Sweet
Sweet
Caroline is
Caroline.
some Sweet Caroline is some R. Kelly shit. So like I can't really I'm never gonna be a Sweet Caroline nigga. Like you know what I mean? Like it's not really gonna be about that life. That song was written about a young teenage girl. So like no, I'm not gonna R. Kelly this situation. So Sweet Caroline is out for me. Sweet Caroline is 100% out for me. Nah, dog, we good. To be honest, if we're talking about songs that are R. Kelly ish, we need to go to Marvin Gaye. Let's Get It On. I Want You. Both written about teenage girls. So, there. Got to get you got to put that out there. You got to put that out there because I don't want nobody to think that like it's not just about R. Kelly. Like this is a problem in the industry, and we got to make sure that we bring proper attention to all of this. Or Kiss. I don't know very much Kiss. The only thing I know one or two Kiss songs, and that's only because of like Rock Band Guitar Hero. Those are the only Kiss songs that I actually know. I can't really fuck with people who wear masks or face paint and all that kind of shit. Like, nah, dog. That's the reason why I can't fuck with Slipknot.
They're just trying to stay safe.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. And I really like Before I Forget. Before I Forget was the jam when that shit came out.
First two Slipknot albums are fucking.
Yeah, but I can't get down with this shit, dog. Like you trying to hide your face? Like, nah, bruh. I'm gonna need to see who's under there because I
Yeah,
need to know
but
who I need to
in
I
there's
need
some
to know who
smart
I'm
shit to
blaming.
where when you now you know you if you see Corey Taylor somewhere you know what he looks like now, of course. But back then they were like the biggest one of the biggest bands on the planet, and they can just go to Walmart and shit because
Right, but I need to know who to blame when this shit goes left. Like when one of y'all motherfuckers say something racist or sexist or whatever the fuck, I need to know who I'm blaming for this.
isn't it funny that Slip that never happened with Slipknot? Slipknot ain't
Yeah,
no iced earth.
right. He's said on the new album, the first song sounds like a Beatles song. The Beatles, not something I ever really got down with, and I know
Dude,
that.
well, Kiss in general, like you look at them, you have Gene Simmons with blood coming out of his mouth, and they're all like, and you listen to them, it's like, I want to party. You're like, this is fucking lame.
I think I actually like. I think I actually watched that movie, the Detroit Rock City
Yeah.
movie. I don't remember nothing from that movie because I was insanely bored. Like I was super bored. I have no idea. I know I
Oh,
watched it,
he
but I
was
don't remember.
talking. He was talking about Slipknot sounding like a Beatles song. I thought he was talking about
Yes,
Kiss.
yes, yes, yes. He was talking. Yeah, he was definitely talking about Slipknot. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's. I mean, at some point, you got to grow, I guess. And at some point, like you could be a metal band, and you know what? I'm feeling kind of Beatles today. Make us some Beatles. Make us some Beatles. I mean, the Beatles have like I played the Beatles rock band. I played that game, so I played different songs through the different eras, and they've done a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Especially like the all of the stuff during the psychedelic era for the Beatles is like, man, what the fuck am I playing? Like, what really? What the
It's crazy
fuck
on
is
how,
happening?
but what's crazy is like we're so far removed from it, and we see the Beatles as this big thing. But you think of it back then, all this shit happened from like this era to this era, this era, in like a span of like 3 years. Like they did
Yes,
so much growing so fast.
right. And so like it's crazy. But I don't think they ever did anything that was really that heavy. I wonder what a heavy
have you
Beatles song
actually
would sound like.
have you listened to the actual song Helter Skelter?
Not that I can remember.
It's I mean it's not heavy like you would think of like fucking Cannibal Corpse, but it's considered one of the inspirations for like harder rock.
Okay. Say he needs a 360 guitar. Only thing he has that works is DJ Hero turntable. I still have a full on DJ Hero 2 kit that has never been taken out of the box. I saw that shit in Big Lots years ago, and that shit was like $12. The DJ Hero 2 kit with the game, and I have never opened that shit. I even went to fucking GameStop and I bought the DJ Hero 1 game because I bought it with 2. I bought the game and I have never actually played it.
Hmm.
That shows you my I think I
I
still
still
have some.
I still want to do the DJ thing. Like it's kind of like went down on me because I was like, man, a lot of stuff has been going on about the whole move and all that stuff. I really thought about, man, I need to get some DJ equipment. That'd be the last thing that I need to be doing right now. But I still really want to do it, and I don't want to do it to where I know that the way to do what you want to do, you got to do what you don't want to do. But I don't want to do what I don't want to do. I don't want to DJ weddings so I can get the money to DJ clubs or DJ underground basements.
Layback started with a phone app or like an
I
app on his tablet or something like that,
I
and it was
well I know
you
that,
can.
but like making money and stuff, I don't want. I would rather have a regular job and do DJing for fun. I mean, I want to do like the basement shit. You know what I mean? I don't want to be at somebody's wedding playing Cotton Eye Joe, wanting to like.
You know that's what's gonna happen, right? You know what's gonna happen, right? Because you white people, that's Cotton Eye Joe. Cotton Eye Joe is for y'all. It is 100% for y'all.
Hey,
I
Cotton Eye
have
Joe
ever
is European as fuck.
yes, but like y'all really really love Cotton
You
Eye
talking
Joe.
about
Like
me like I'm a part of. I hate Cotton Eye Joe.
No, but that's for y'all. Like all y'all, that's for y'all. Like every time I was at like a school dance or some shit like that, and Cotton Eye Joe came on, all the black people just kind of fled from the scene like they were slave catchers in the building. Like we got the fuck out of there. like,
Dude,
like
what is
nope,
you're
nope.
treating me like you're like y'all need to calm down, and I'm like, hey, I'm not part of this. I'm just trying to be over here in my own place. They're the one that's cutting up.
You know that happened. That happened. Like kind of slight spoiler. That 100% happened on Andor, the last episode of Andor. He just happened to be somewhere. Some motherfuckers that did some shit and they running. He was just happened to be moving in the same direction, and they was like, "Oh, so you with them?" He was like, "No, I'm not with them. I'm on vacation. I'm just kind of chilling." No, 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 no. You was with them. We saw you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like that's exactly what happened. Those like he had a what I like to call, and I call this affectionately. I call it those are not my niggas moment. Like he had that kind of moment while, but like he got in trouble for it. So yeah, he had the those are not my niggas moment, and yeah, so we're gonna figure out what the fuck happened this next episode because that's how it ends. But he said it's a fun game. I think he said think you can sing on DJ Hero 2. Here's the problem with singing. I cannot find my Rock Band 4 microphone. The Rock Band 3 microphone is terrible.
You can't use a regular microphone.
I think you can use some sort of if it's a USB microphone.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can use that, but my my that's the only one I could find. I ended up having to sing that day with my Xbox headset. I plugged my headphones into the controller and I sang with the headset.
He's
The
out there.
shit felt fucking weird.
He's out there
It
like
felt
Garth
weird.
Brooks.
Yeah, absolutely. I was out there like Garth Brooks. Um,
And that's what happened to his rock band guitar. He was feeling like Garth Brooks and smashed the shit.
Except speaking of the last episode of Andor, he was jamming to the Star Wars house music that played. Yeah, that shit was jamming a little bit. It was jamming a little bit, but I can't do too many spoilers because probably not everybody has seen it. And then Blue is gonna be like, no spoilers, and I'm like, all right, fine, Blue.
Yeah, I need to
Um,
check it out. I've been hearing people say I haven't heard much about it, but I haven't heard anything negative
it's
or
different.
positive either way.
It's different. It's not. Andor, and I'm watching Andor every week. She-Hulk has ended, so I'm watching Andor every week. Andor is not Star Wars as you knew it,
It's not your daddy's
because
Star Wars, huh?
and then it's not your damn daddy Star Wars. This new kind of Star Wars ain't got none of them there laser swords, and they ain't got none of them. They don't use the Force. So like, get the Force out of here. Like, yeah. um, no, it's Star Wars, but it's much more grounded. Like I said, there are no Force users so far.
Okay.
There are no Force users. There are. It's very grounded. Like we just recently got like stormtroopers or clone troopers or whichever they are at this point. We just got some of
So
them.
it's kind of like
Like they
how
were.
like Mando started. I mean, Mando ended up more Star Warsy, but when it started, it was very removed.
Yes, it. I mean, Mando is just a western.
Yeah.
It's just a western with a nigga with a suit on. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
But really, watch Star Wars and then watch a western. Like the first Star Wars is a western, really.
very much so. He was inspired by westerns and samurai movies.
Hmm.
Those were the two biggest influences on him in making Star Wars in the first place. Samurai movies and westerns. So like you get a lot of that through the different Star Wars, whatever the fucks.
You know what's funny?
But
If my dad watches a lot of westerns and like, and sometimes he'll find random ones because he's seen all the main ones like Gunsmoke and all that. And then
Right.
every now and again you'll see someone from Star Trek because like Star Trek was on when all those westerns were on, so they were acting on the same stuff. And sometimes you're like, man, the Star Trek show is basically a western in space. you know.
Basically, like all this stuff is weird. I will say that I did watch a few things. Um, I watched a few things with my lady friend who was in the chat. Um, I watched a few things. She had never seen the Hunger Games.
I've never seen the Hunger Games.
You've never seen the Hunger Games? Oh my god, you should totally get into that. I really dig those movies. Like the last two were kind of different. The first two is like, yo, this is crazy shit. Um, but yeah, so we watched one night because we stayed up like really late till like early in the morning. And she says, "See, I'm not the only one. You don't count." Oh, no, Chase doesn't count. Let's just say that Chase doesn't count. Because Chase is weird. If it's not a horror movie, he probably doesn't care about it.
That's not
Um,
true.
what horror movies haven't you seen?
What horror movies have not I not seen? I have not seen any Saw movies. I've not seen the
That's
Puppet
not a.
Master.
That is not a horror movie. Saw movies
I
are
haven't
torture
seen
porn.
I haven't seen any Puppet Masters, and I've only seen the first Child's Play. Um,
I think I've only seen the first Child's Play two. Also not two. Like I may have seen other Child's Plays in passing, but like Child's
oh,
Play is just
speaking,
not something.
I was thinking about Child's Play
Like
the other day. You know what? The fact, because that whole movie, it's kind of playing with you. Is the doll really real? And it kind of like plays with you if it tries to make the viewer think that the kid is doing it and he's making up
yeah,
the
the
whole
first,
doll
the
shit.
first, the
The
first, the
the
first
first
movie.
one.
Yes.
So the fact Chucky is the killer is actually a spoiler. But it's so big, it's kind of almost like the Darth Vader thing. It's so big, everybody knows. But it's crazy to think that Chucky as a hold on.
Personally, I just think it's hilarious that someone saw a My Buddy commercial and was like, "I'm gonna make that thing kill people." Like that's the concept of that's the whole concept of the movies, right?
Right.
Someone saw a My Buddy doll. It was like, I'm gonna make that thing fucking destroy
But
people.
isn't it crazy that the fact that Chucky is everybody knows Chucky,
Mhm.
but the fact that Chucky is a spoiler technically for the first movie. But we're so
Is
far removed from it now. It's just wild.
is it really a spoiler? Because in the first few minutes, like they try to track down the dude, and then he does some sort of voodoo shit and puts his soul into the doll. So like, it may be a spoiler, but like that's in the first couple of minutes of the movie, right?
Yeah, but was that like something that the kid was making up or whatever? Like the narrator. What is it? Um, what's the narrator that you can't believe? What do they call that?
Reliable.
Unreliable narrator. Yep.
Y'all should check out the trailer for Megan. I, I, I just don't get into this type of stuff. I just don't. I ain't got nothing for it. Like, no, that stuff doesn't mean anything at all to me. So I don't get up for horror movies or like that kind of suspenseful type shit. Like, I don't really get up for any of that shit because like it's not scary because like I know it's not real.
Well, I'm not scared
Like
by any of this shit. I just think it's cool.
Right. And then like years ago when we used to have watch parties on the 360, we got together and we watched The Exorcist and we joked it the whole time. It was like a niggerized version of Mystery Science Theater. Like we had a ball that night.
That's
I can't believe.
that's so that's an idea we can do for the patrons, but it would have to be like we link them to a USB, or not a USB, but like a Google Drive video, because we couldn't copyright wise put that on YouTube. But like a whole movie, and we sit down and watch like something like that, and then we post that on like Google Drive and be like, patrons, here you go. That's a good idea, don't you think?
I mean, we tried that with Rabbit, right?
We, yeah. Well, was I with Rabid?
Yeah, remember you did the Rabbit thing and you did the French
Yeah,
horror
but
movie thing.
yeah,
All
we did
right.
that, but we didn't record it. And like but with Rabbit, we were going through some hoops. Now we got Discord, and it's a lot easier without no hoop going throughs using those.
Scott says he think he was there for the Exorcist. Yeah, it was a bunch of us in the party, and that shit was hilarious because I also changed it to the view where it was kind of mystery science, where it had our avatars at the bottom of the screen.
That's the one thing we don't get from the discourse. I do miss that. I use that too. I think me and Max, when I lived in the mountains, we watched some things like that, and that was super cool. Uh,
You also did a thing in Discord. Remember when you watched Friday on Discord?
yeah, yeah, we've done it before, but not recorded it and have it be like a thing that patrons can watch as a mystery
Yeah.
science theater thing.
I wonder about the thing with the patrons, and I know we're going back to internal show talk because the people that I follow that do reactions,
Mhm.
they all say that the full version of the movies, because they're all cut down, of course, but the full version of those movies that they're reacting to are on Patreon. So I don't even know, like, do you have like a set amount of space? Can you just upload shit to Patreon? Like, I don't know. I've never actually done it. Like, I've linked a couple of YouTube videos there, but I haven't actually like uploaded something to Patreon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it'd be something to look into. But I mean, the easiest thing to me is like just have it to be like you just link to a drive video to where
Yeah,
they can't write it or delete it, but they can watch it, or see the file.
yeah, yep. That'll be something interesting. It's something to work on. Especially something to work on for whatever is going to be the next year of this thing.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, I'm staying.
Twenty
I fully expected to be retired by now. I just want to say that.
2023. This is post retirement. You're already retired. This is post retirement.
Yeah, this is my what's the name of that Jay-Z album that he came out with right after he retired?
444.
No, 444 was after that. It was Kingdom Come. This is my Kingdom Come phase.
Okay.
I think that's what it is for me. All right, so let's get into some stuff. So I already talked about watching the Hunger Games movies, um, and while we were waiting for something to happen yesterday, I put her on to what's the name of that movie with on Amazon with Chris Pratt
Chris
going.
Pratt.
Yeah, the Chris Pratt movie on Amazon. What's that shit called?
Oh, I can't remember. I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember what it's
Tomorrow
called.
War? Is it Tomorrow War?
The one that you were like, man, this movie made no sense, but it was funny or something, or
No, it's like okay. So it was the first part of it didn't make a. It's the Tomorrow War. That's correct. It's the Tomorrow War. Um, and here's the thing:
okay.
the first part of that movie makes little sense, but there's a lot of action. So it's like, all right, cool, we got this. The second part of the movie just gave you so many questions, and like there's so many coincidences. Like there's something in the second part. There's something to figure out, right? And it just so happens that one of the dudes is a teacher. One of his young ass students is the one who figured out the key to the second part. Some young boy who is super interested into some shit that no one fucking cares about. And that one little kid is the key. All of these fucking scientists and shit could not figure this out, but some little fucking middle schooler figured this shit out. Like, you know what I mean? Like
So
that's
it's
a
kind of like all these scientists and all this stuff, and all the politicians and everything, and they're supposed to be like doing this secret stuff, and some dude on YouTube figured it all out.
yeah. It's like that scene in that scene in Sling Blade, right? Where all of the dudes is trying to figure out like what the fuck is wrong with this lawnmower. And like they're like, I can't figure out, this shit won't start. I don't know what the fuck is going on. And then his simple ass just walks over there and be like, gas in it. Like, oh, okay. And he just figures it out just that fast. It ain't got no gas in it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, maybe that's
he
a testament to them just being fucking even. He's not the stupidest one in the town. You know.
right. I mean, he's not stupid. He's simple. This is very simple. Shout
Yeah.
out to Billy Bob Thornton. Yeah.
That
When
that
was
that
the last
movie
time we
that
seen Billy Bob?
that
When have
movie
we seen the
fucking
last?
rules, man.
Yes, I love that shit. And the whole. I still say the one of the best scenes in movie history that is unintentionally fucking hilarious. I don't think it was intended to be as funny as it ended up being. But that whole scene after they are playing music in the backyard and then they're all sitting in the house
Mhm.
and Doles just starts going the fuck off.
Yeah.
That is the I say that is I think that is I wouldn't even say top five unintentionally funny scenes of all time. I say that's top two. Unintentionally funny scenes of all time. That shit has me laughing out loud hysterically every fucking time. Every time. Top two
Fucking Dwight Yoakam.
unintentionally. Yes. Dwight Yoakam played the fuck out of that role. Get the fuck out of my house. Don't talk to me like that when I'm hurting, Linda. And then my man with the poem, I stand on the hill, not for a thrill. That shit is hilarious. I cannot get enough of that one fucking scene. I don't care about I don't care about the rest of that fucking movie at all.
Don't talk to me when I'm hurting, Linda.
Don't talk to me like that when I'm hurting, Linda.
I think that's a show title.
Lay, you know what? That is going to be the show title. Don't talk to me like that when I'm hurting, Linda. Hey, I told you, man, that shit cracks me up every fucking time. And okay, you got to talk about something else because I'm just gonna keep laughing.
I don't even know where to go. Well, I've been playing because they did the Silent Hill like fucking atom bomb of games, right? Where everybody it was actually pretty fun being in the chat. I'm normally not in the chat, but like just seeing people at the beginning being like, "Don't see, not getting my hopes over this shit. It's just gonna be a whatever," thinking it's just gonna be, here's our new Silent Hill skateboard or whatever, and they go so long without nothing, and then be like, "Okay, Silent Hill fans, here's 1, 2, 3 fucking Silent Hill games," and all this other shit. But anyway,
All right,
the one that
hold on,
they
hold
okay.
on for a second. I want you to hold on for a second, and I want you to check out in Google.
Okay.
And I don't know if you can see this, and I don't know if I can share my screen. Can I share screen during this?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go to Window. It's my Chrome tab. I'm going to share my screen. Can you see this?
Yeah.
So I typed in "Don't talk to me like that when I'm hurting Linda," and Google wants me to adjust it to hurting, like without the G. Like Google suggested for me to change it.
Because it
So I
knows.
just,
Don't talk to me
because
like that when I'm hurting.
Google knows Google knows the line. Google knows the line. So like Google adjusted this for like nah, you don't even do it like that. Don't even do it like that. You gotta do it right. So yeah, Google adjusted that for me. I just wanted you
I
to
mean,
see that.
a runner-up for the show title would be Google knows the line, which.
AKA Google knows the line. I'm putting that in there. Putting that in there. AKA Google knows the line.
But anyway, well the main one is Silent Hill 2 the remake, right? It's being developed
Mhm.
by Bloober Team, who did the Blair Witch game. They done like Layers of Fear. They did the Medium, which I thought was really good. Which they actually worked with um the guy who did the music for Silent Hill with that game.
Okay.
So I do have some pretty. I mean, everything can go wrong, right? But like, I do have some. It's hopeful for the Silent Hill 2 remake. I mean, that's the one that has the best story, the most deepest story that like delves with deals with more complex themes. But and then they announced something called Townfall, which is developed by Annapurna and Code something. I think they did some other horror games like that one. I can't really remember what it's called, but I think I have it on Epic. But then the last one, Silent Hill. Well, then they had something called Ascension, which seems like some sort of live event thing that were like a 1 versus 100, but with Silent Hill or something. I don't know what that's all about. But then there's Silent Hill F, which is just a trailer, but it's written by the dude who did Hiragashi When They Cry, which is the visual novel that I was working through back a few years ago. So like that's some crazy shit.
That's not the one with the anime voices, right?
No, that's the one afterwards to where it's kind of like it's older. I've recently modded it to be more modern. It's like in like from like 2002 or something. So it's kind of before visual novels got the thing of having this is the anime people, this is the text at the bottom, and it goes through each line at a time. It was actually like here's these crudely drawn anime people, and we're just gonna like read it down like an actual novel over the screen. It was like very crudely drawn. Like sometimes the art looked good, sometimes the art looked absolutely horrendous. So with the mod, they completely redid the art and made it more like how when you'd see Persona screenshots, it was at the bottom and it works a lot better. But
Oh yeah, Persona 5 on Xbox
oh
Game
yeah,
Pass.
that I'll get that in a second. But but that's the way to play it if you're wanting to play that. But that's crazy that so they're really attacking some like really niche things to be like this new Silent Hill written by this dude. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like so it's got me really
It's,
intrigued.
it's like they're putting some real muscle behind it.
Yeah. I don't even know about muscle, but it's like
Like
so
they putting someone that seems to know what they're doing. That's what I mean by muscle.
yeah.
They seem to be putting people in the place that seem to know what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, uh cuz Hiragashi means like cicada, I think, but when they cry and then when I played it, I didn't see any horror shit at all. So it's like really slow, but it's like I don't know, like how the beginning started like was like really haunting, and it kind of makes me want to actually finish it now. But anyway, Persona 5 Royal on Game
And
Pass.
Scott asked if you play Scorn yet.
No, because that's that's a thing to where I'm like, what the
You
fuck?
really need to set it. I think that's one of those things to where I seen like a review of it, and it's something that you really need to set some time aside and like not to be bothered. Like
Yeah, but
kids,
that's
everybody
a
leave me the fuck alone. Like I need to figure this shit out.
that's a
It's
thing
just
to where it makes me have lose a little faith in Game Pass because like time and time again, I see these games that people really look forward to, and it's almost like it hits that the Game Pass curse. Oh, it's releasing on Game Pass, and then I was talking about somebody about Scorn we were talking about in like 2018. That game's been in development for a long time, and then it
says,
comes out to be like kind of not good, like this bullshit puzzle game that's like I thought it was going to be kind of like maybe I didn't think it was going to be an action-packed shooter, but I thought it may have been more along the lines of maybe a more action
you thought it would be
adventure, more action adventure, I guess, than
so not
puzzle.
so not so not necessarily Doom, but just something else.
Yeah, I was thinking somewhere like not Dune, but I wasn't thinking Witness either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but so there's other things that I'm like, there's good things on Game Pass, but they didn't release on Game Pass. You know what I mean? Like like Persona and like Gears of War and things of that nature. And but like I'm really looking forward to this that vampire game, the Left 4 Dead thing type game. But is it going to be good? You know what I mean? But anyway, Persona 5 Royal on Game Pass really shows the power of Xbox Play Anywhere. I didn't realize it was a Play Anywhere title, but I started playing it on the PC, and I go on the Xbox, and I can just start up where I was on the Xbox. Go on my laptop, start up where I was on but those two, and you know it's fucking Persona, so it played fine on my laptop. So all this stuff,
Is it cloud enabled?
it is cloud enabled. I tried it, but I am not a fan of cloud. It ran like shit. I installed it.
You said we need to do Back for Blood sometime. Ugh.
I
Okay,
mean,
my
if people are down with it, I'm down with it. But we didn't.
I'm willing. I'm willing to try it again, but we did not have the greatest experience the first time
Yeah. And
or the second time
when I see people play it online,
or the third time.
it seems like it looks like they're playing like Apex Legends. I mean, they're like moving fast and doing all this stuff. Like, it seems like it's almost like a game like that, but like in a Left 4 Dead, like a horde mode type thing. So, I don't even know if it's a game for us anymore.
Oh,
So,
you said they fixed the difficulty. That was our biggest issue.
yeah, because, I mean, we're not for wanting things to be just like fucking butter knife, but we also don't want things just to kick us in the dick because I mean, we're playing games to get away from getting kicked in the dick. You know what I mean?
Truth. True. So, all right. I've only really played, like I said, I played a little bit of Rock Band, and I played a little bit of Division and a little bit of Recon Breakpoint.
Okay.
We're in Breakpoint. We are now into episode 3, which is really the part where they kind of added a mode that's very similar to Wildlands, where you have to take out all of these like dudes to try to get to the main dude.
Right, right.
So we're doing we've done some of that. I haven't really had a whole lot of time to really play anything, to be honest. I did, however, squeeze in some time to get some more 2 Point Campus in. I put the videos up already. So I'm still working on that. They did a Halloween update, so there's some Halloweeny type things in the game. I have not played it since that update went live. I'll probably get to that sometime soon. I really meant to play yesterday, and then I just kind of wanted to not do anything.
Oh well,
Uh,
Scott said
he,
something about Modern Warfare 2. I really, really want to play the Modern Warfare 2 campaign. I loved the Modern Warfare campaign that they just released in like 2018 or 19. Great campaign, but I'm not going to pay $70 for it.
I'm just waiting for all this shit to go on Game Pass.
Yeah. Once you get done with your playing, I do have another playing that I forgot. I don't think that I've talked. I think I talked about it with you, but I don't think I've talked about Werewolf Apocalypse on the podcast.
Okay. I don't have much longer to go. Um, but yeah, so I have the 2 Point Campus videos on my page, my YouTube channel, the Scarfinger Hood Rich YouTube channel. So all of that's there. So if you want to see that over there, I now have the ability to do like community posts. And like once I got the ability to do it, I had no idea what I was actually going to do with those community posts. So if y'all got some ideas, holla at your boy. I needed like a social media
Poetry.
manager. I needed like a social media manager. I think that's what I think I'm gonna
Write
need.
poetry.
No, thank you. I ain't that type of dude. I'm too blunt, I guess you would say.
Yeah, blunt
I'm too
poetry.
I'm too blunt for poetry. It's just like it there's no like
Roses are red, violets are blue. Let's go back into
brew,
the blue.
brew.
I've
You
been
had, you had a
I,
little bit too much to drink, huh? Got a little bit too much
violets
to
are
drink,
blue.
huh?
Let's go. Let's go get some. Let's go get some food and get busy. Well, that what Chad said in the. It's like
Yeah.
little.
Yeah, I'm just not that kind of dude. And I don't know. I got to figure out something to do because I have the ability now, so I should absolutely use it. I don't know, but yeah, go if you care about 2 Point Campus, go do that. I was thinking about what I was going to play next once I'm done with 2 Point Campus, though. That's going to be interesting. Bec-
GGR is where it needs the fucking community things to where we can actually post things on the YouTube.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think so, but I don't know what I did to actually hit that. I think I got like 170 something followers on my personal stuff, but most of that stuff because of the marching band stuff that I posted a long time ago and I don't really do anymore. But people still like kind of stayed around, so it's not like I get a whole lot of views on the channel for this stuff, but so far it's been working. So but I'm trying to think. Did I play anything else? I can't say that I have. If there's anything else, if there's anything else, then maybe
You can loop back
it
around once,
it was. I don't guess it was that important.
right? But
I
where
ain't looping back around for shit because we've probably been here for almost an hour and a half, so it's getting to be that time.
Yeah. Well, Werewolf the Apocalypse. Well, I when it was coming out, I was like, "Oh, that looks cool. That could be fun." And I put it on my wish list, and it came out to some mixed reviews. And then the reviews started to go more mostly positive. And I was like,
Okay.
and I still kept it on the wish list. And once it went on sale, I was like, fuck it, let me get it. And I'm glad I did. Yeah, it's janky. Like when the characters are talking, they're kind of like, it's a European game. Come on. I mean, it's always gonna be a little janky. Like, but
Why are you
I
saying that about the Europeans, dog?
they know it.
Okay, so don't Kanye West me, bro. Like don't be out here talking about people and like they gonna start coming after me.
but but anyway, I mean, there's a reason like Eurojank is a term in the gaming industry. Like,
Eurojank is not a term I have ever used or ever will use for all of our European listeners.
look at Scar trying to be Mister like
I
Moses
am
over
trying
here.
my I am trying my best to stay out of trouble.
You're trying to appease the night wishers.
You know what? At this point, I
You're like,
want to appease them. I want to appease them long enough for me to crush their dreams when we do a review of another Nightwish song. I want to appease them long enough
yeah.
that they think it's safe to
Or are
come
you
back.
being like, man, I am kind of crunching money. Let's fake some Nightwish videos and make some money.
Nah, it ain't ever gonna be that. I ain't never gonna. I'm not. I'm never gonna compromise myself for not for fucking Nightwish. Like no, thank you. But I would do an illusion of safety thing where like I bring you in like we do a Nightwish video and I'm very nice and I'm very complimentary. And you're like, oh shit, he likes Nightwish now. And then we do another one and I'm be like, fuck that shit. And then like that, and then they go, you motherfucker, you suckered us into this shit. I,
But anyway,
I would totally do something like that. I'm devious enough to do that.
but anyway, it's a little janky. You know, the NPCs are a little janky. The voice acting is a little whatever, but it's such a fun B-rated game. I've missed B-tier games to where they're just like, we're not going to put a lot of things trying to make things ultra realistic or top tier this and that and oh here's some ray tracing, here's some this or that. We just want to make a fun ass game. And that's what they did. Like you play this dude and you're basically an eco terrorist working for Gaia, destroying like oil tycoons. I mean, killing the fuck out of them. Like the game's like, oh, you can stealth. In the beginning, you kind of have to, like in a tutorial thing, but after that, like, there's nothing on the like little skill tree about stealth. You can try to if you want to, but once you get seen, oh man, it's just like ripping dudes in half and all that stuff. I mean, who wants? But yeah,
Okay.
and when you aren't a vicious werewolf, you can just turn into a regular wolf and just like sit and go through events and stuff and just be a good boy.
Okay.
And that made me think. I'm like, he could turn to a regular wolf, like a regular animal wolf. Was Bella a? What was she trying to like decide? Am I into necrophilia or am I into bestiality?
I have no idea who Bella is.
From Twilight, she was going. She was like trying to
Oh,
choose
I
between.
told you. I told you my Twilight story.
She's trying to choose between the vampires, which are dead, and the werewolves, which are fucking animals.
Okay. They are they are the undead and the animagi.
It's pretty close to necrophilia and bestiality. She could be like Jacob,
No,
turn into that
they're
wolf.
undead. They're
She's like
undead.
Jacob, turn into that wolf right now. Get turned on by this. She could.
I don't know anything about Twilight, but I've told my story many, many times. I completely missed out on that whole fucking movie, the first movie, and I never had any reason to look back at it. Ever. And that fucking dude is Batman now. Glittery fucking vampire is Batman now.
Uh, I like that dude though. He's a good actor.
I mean, I like them in Harry Potter, of course.
I like them in The Lighthouse.
I've seen The Lighthouse.
You probably wouldn't like it, but I thought it was a
I
good
would
movie.
not. I would not. I trust your judgment on you knowing what I would care about and what I won't care about. I
It's
completely trust
it's
your
him
judgment.
him and Willem Dafoe in a lighthouse going insane.
I'm not a Willem Dafoe kind of guy. Like, yeah, I'm out. Like, you know what I mean? Like dealing with him in Spider Man was good enough. In No Way Home, dealing with him in No Way Home was good enough for me. I don't need no more Willem Dafoe in my life. B
You can't be
none.
you can't be
I hate Boondock
disrespecting
Saints.
the Willem
I hate
Dafoe.
Boondock Saints. I I'm
I
I'm
hate
not.
Boondock Saints too. That movie's overrated.
And apparently, people who love that movie say he did his thing in that movie, and I'm like, no, no, just no. all the no. I don't know if there's have. I mean, other than Spider Man, I can't think of like any like Willem Dafoe role that I really like.
Steve Zissou,
The fuck is that?
the Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
I have no fucking idea what that is.
Ah, Scarfinger, so uncultured.
You're right. You're right. I'm not even. I'm not even tripping, bro. Like, nah, I'm good. Like, that's not. I have no idea. That's the one with the like submarine thing. It's like a.
Yeah,
It's, yeah, I think I've seen like a trailer of it, but like I don't really know what it is.
it's a funny movie. But anyway, I think we've pretty much wrapped it up, man.
Yeah, I think so. I'm just taking a look and seeing anything. I mean, he did a voice on Finding Nemo. I guess that would be the closest thing to being like, all right, I guess I'll accept that.
Yeah, it's like his thing of fight is Willem Dafoe. We're like, yeah, Willem Dafoe's all right. It's fucking Finding Nemo. And I'm not like talking shit about like Pixar or anything, but shit, come on, Scar.
I mean, I mean, I'm not really a Willem Dafoe type of dude. Like, I'm just, I, I don't know. Like, I mean, maybe I just don't kind of watch the kind of stuff that he plays in. Oh, in that movie has Bill Murray in it.
Yeah,
You know, Bill Murray. Bill Murray plays the same guy in every movie. Bill Murray is just Bill Murray as whatever character he's supposed to be playing.
the same with Christopher Walken too.
Christopher Walken, and I know I'm gonna hurt some people's feelings with this, but this has to be said. Denzel Washington also. Denzel Washington is always Denzel Washington as whoever the character is.
That's why I think these character actors, like say like Jim Varney, who plays Ernest, are
Um,
better actors than like say an actor
didn't
like
he pass?
yeah, he passed in like the '90s, but like that that can be like I am not Ernest. Like you,
He died in the year 2000, at the beginning of 2000,
I thought it was '99, but maybe it was 2000. Huh.
February 10th, 2000.
Yeah, because they had to recast him in Toy Story because he was Slinky Dog in the first two.
I've never seen a Toy Story movie.
Oh, you just talking about Finding Nemo? What the fuck, man? But anyway,
I don't watch a whole lot of kids movies because I typically don't have kids around.
yeah, I see that. But I mean, Pixar's kind of different because it's like actually well written mostly. But but anyway, the what was I talking about? Oh, like an actor that plays like a character, like that plays like Ernest or like say dude who plays like Pee Wee Herman or whatnot. It's almost like they're better actors because they can play something that is not themselves at all, and you think they are that character when they're not. Versus like a Christopher Walken who's just playing themselves.
The dude who played Pee Wee Herman, he was great. He is the only bright spot in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie. He is the only bright spot in that movie.
Oh yeah, he did play a vampire in that movie, didn't
Yes. He is by far the best part of that movie. Is now.
he?
Not even close. And just his general creepiness, actually is the one step above the rest of that movie. Because in hindsight, that movie is trash. Even though I've seen it several times, and I've seen it several times in the movie theater. Actually, I think I've seen it twice. I won't say several. I will say I think I may have seen it twice in the movie theater.
Okay.
He is the lone bright spot there. Also, shout out to Lawrence Fishburne, who was Cowboy Curtis in the Pee Wee Herman TV show, Pee Wee's Playhouse. Fucking Lawrence Fishburne was Cowboy Curtis.
Yep.
It's wild to go back and think like That's wild. That's super wild. But but yeah, I think we should go ahead and wrap this up. So thank y'all for checking your boys out. We'll be back in your ear holes in another 2 weeks. Um, we we really enjoy doing this, and we really enjoy doing all of the things like the reactions and someone's playing video games. Like Chase has been playing Fear on his, and I watched a couple of those, but I have no idea what's actually going on because usually as soon as I go to try to watch those, someone calls me and I'm on the phone watching it with no sound, and I have no idea what the fuck I'm watching. Um,
But you probably, I mean, well, that game does stories mostly in like little. It's kind of like Bioshock, where most of the story is in like little phone calls and stuff,
okay,
and little things, and the game's mostly about killing dudes in slow motion,
okay,
which is
yeah,
always fun.
that's pretty much what I see when I'm watching. So yeah, I am. But yeah, man, we enjoy doing all of this. So like, look at all of the YouTube pages. Like I think, do we have all of them on the show notes?
I think so.
Sure, because I'm looking and I don't see them all here. We need to make sure that they're all here.
We shall.
So we'll get that fixed and we'll make sure that you can get to all of them. Um, I really wanted to originally I wanted to converge them all into one, but like to have one place where to have the gameplay stuff, the reactions, the podcast, and like all of that seems like it's too much for one YouTube page.
Yeah, and it gets separated out in playlists and stuff, but people. I'm a type of person who likes a lot of different things, especially music. I have a very eclectic music taste, and then if I make a playlist that's all is as eclectic as my music taste, I'm turning all the people off because not a lot of people like what I like, but not a lot of people like everything I like.
Right.
So,
All right. So again, thank you for checking us out. We'll be right back with some more Scarcasm and everything else. Like, do all of the things. Do all of the things. Um, like it, share it, subscribe, tell your people. We appreciate you, and we are really, really trying to figure out how we're going to revamp our Patreon. That's a process that we're working on, and we're gonna see about getting that straight. So we'll let you know when we have that straight.
yeah.
All right. So until next time, it's out to the Warrior Show.
Later.
Gang gang.